Alright, so next is Seven Deadly Sins, Chapter 226. We continue off with Meliodas and the Seven Deadly Sins going to the capital where the distortion is.
Yep.
Meeting up with Zeldris. And without second thought, Meliodas jumps at him trying to take him out, but just as you would expect, he's not able to just one-shot him anymore because he has the power of the Demon King with him. Zeldris does.
I think like the cool thing to see that is like he just went all out, went full demon mode immediately. And, destroyed.
He doesn't even try to hold it back anymore now that everybody knows. Like he used to be really like careful about it, like no one needs to know I'm a demon, but now everyone knows. It's no point in hiding it. So he's all about it. They start talking about like all the debris that was sent flying from the attack, and Merlin comments like, it doesn't matter, the temporal distortion will make it to where there's no debris, no nothing. It protects Camelot from any invasion.
Yeah, which I think is a cool, like, very cool ability. It's like dimensional distortion kind of thing. Like, it's just like...
And with Merlin's magic, it'll never, ever dissipate with if she ever gets, like, knocked out or anything. Like, with that one fight she had with, I don't remember that commandment's name now. He's too dead right now anyway. So
he's super dead, yeah.
He got turned to stone and then by his own commandments. So.
Yeah, so we see, turn back to Meliodas, he's looking at Zeldris' dead body, and like it turns into bones. And you hear someone's voice talking about oh, you knew this was a trap, you still dove in. Seems like you're kind of mad at Zeldris. And we figure out later that this is actually Melascula, which is another one of the 10 Commandments.
Yeah, which makes you think that, assuming Zeldris wasn't there at all, that was just her illusion, and she attacks him with dark cocoon.
Yeah, she traps him with a dark cocoon. So
which is the same attack she used with Bond to suck out his soul. So
Bond recognizes this, and he tries to go in and save Meliodas, but the dark cocoon takes him out, and he's too late. And then you get the other sins are kind of walking over there. They're seeing that they're looking around. They see all the bones of all the dead people that the 10 Commandments had killed at that city. They just let their bones kind of just hang out everywhere.
They get resurrected into skeletal armies. They start coming at them, and the other sins don't really seem to be fazed by this. And even there's a shot where Bond is literally getting punched in the face with one. He's just like, really?
Yeah.
Is this all? And we get another shot of him just like destroying with like the back of his hand.
Yeah, just kind of
all the other sins are destroying them with ease. So clearly these enemies at where they are now are not strong enough to even like waver concern.
You even get a panel with Hawk using like a special technique, Chorizo Strike, and he's just like kind of like
even Hawk is being able to take out these skeletons to show you just how weak they are. And then we turn back to Meliodas in the dark cocoon. He tries to fire a Hellblaze attack, and it just dissipates into the darkness. And we get to see a shot of what's her name again?
Melascula.
I don't know how you remember.
Melascula or Melascula. Either one.
I like Melascula. Sounds better. But we get to see like this giant form of her with like her mouth kind of propped open.
It looks like a snake a little bit.
Kind of does. It just shows more of her demonic nature because she's one of the most human looking. Well, they're all really human looking. She is pretty human looking with her normal form, but this shows more of her demonic nature. Yeah. So she starts talking to Meliodas, and
she makes mention of the fact that like he kind of he's like lashed out against Zeldris and earlier, and then like now she's kind of like egging him on.
Yeah. And
she's saying like, oh, you look just like you did back 3,000 years ago when you were our leader. Because like he has a very stern, very angry look on his face, and it's crazy.
So we go back to... It turns back another panel to the Sins fighting the skeletons at the end. But this time, they're starting to get a lot stronger.
Yeah.
Like even they noticed, and then they found out that it's a soul enchantment called Vengeful Carnage. And what it is that the 10 Commandment is using Meliodas' rage to fuel the skeleton. So the angrier he gets, the stronger they become. And so... they are attacking them, so they're basically fighting Meliodas' rage, which we know is infinite. Like Meliodas is the most
because he's the embodiment of wrath. So it's
he literally is in wrath, especially after being reincarnated and losing a little bit of his emotions.
Exactly.
So
it just gets more and more powerful every time. So that's a pretty scary situation. The fact that like the Sins now have to combat against
not just
his wrath.
Which is even almost as scary as Meliodas himself.
Exactly.
But that's the end of the chapter. It's not a very long chapter. Not a lot happens. It's just more of like getting ready for a big fight. I'm assuming.
Kind of sets the stage of like how what they have to deal with, and
they're gonna have to kill her. It seems like this is gonna end up being like the Sins are gonna go 1-on-1 versus each of these. At least from what it looks like from this, it could change, but I don't know. I hope not, because 10 Commandments fighting each 1-on-1 versus each of their powers, that could drag on pretty hard if you let it happen. So.
Definitely. I think one thing that I think we have to see from Elionos is like he has to grow out of being lost to his wrath, because like you see that
we saw that during his trial with the goddess clan. What are they called again? The one that I don't remember at all.
But yeah, no, I remember. Like there's just like whenever he was trying, like whenever he had to overcome his wrath, so that he didn't have to see.
So he could get all of his power back, because Merlin sealed it away. So
he had to see like the old Elizabeth from Danafor die over and over again, and if only if he could like seal his wrath away is the only way he could get out of that. Yeah. So he found a way to do it, so he got his old power back. So I want to see like if he remembers that training, and if he remembers to kind of calm his rage down a little bit, so that.
It definitely seems like what they're hearkening back to is his training, because even the look on his face is about the same he had back then. Yeah. And it's funny that this president might actually, since she's a commandment, she might know about his curse, so she might actually use that against him and like show him all of I hope she shows, like, this is just me, but I hope she shows him like all of Elizabeth's death, like maybe like a whole page of just like each panel, like not obviously everyone, because there's 106, that's a lot. Maybe like a bunch of different ones of just her each dying, and that just like sets him off. And eventually he's just gonna have to be like, you know what, I've seen this so many times, like I have to accept this. I'm just gonna keep fighting. Like, until then, all I can do is fight.
Because, like, I think if he realizes that he is hurting his teammates, he's going to get frustrated over the fact that he's hurting his teammates, which is going to make him more angry. And he's going to get angry at the fact that he's getting angry, that it's just going to, like, cycle down into wrath. And he has to grow up to the point where he's like, okay, I have to fight besides my wrath. Like, I have to fight despite the anger that I'm feeling. Yeah. So...
I think I'm really excited for the next chapter. Hopefully it's as good as I'm hoping it is. But that's just the disposition. So we'll go on to the next one, which is Promised Neverland, which is